The following are 7 important volleyball serving strategies. Number 1, serving the weakest passer. Generally, you want to try to avoid serving the libero. The libero is usually the best passer on the court, so if you can figure out which player on the court is the weakest passer, try to get them to receive your serve. Okay, tip number 2, serve the best hitter. Often the outside hitter is lined up in serve receive passing, and they're sometimes the best hitter on the team, so you want to try to serve them the ball. By serving the outside hitter, you're going to put pressure on them to pass the ball first before they have to line up to approach the hit. If you can get them to pass the deep serve or pass a really short serve, this can really mess up their approach. Okay, tip number 3, serving front row players. By making a front row player pass the ball, this can really mess up the offense. Often when the front row player receives a serve, the setter a lot of times doesn't set this player. So as a blocker, it's important to notice which player receives the serve. So for example, if the outside hitter gets served and you notice the setter usually doesn't set the outside hitter when they receive the serve, then you will be ready for them not to set this player and you can focus on the other 2 hitters. Serving short is also effective because a lot of times the player passing the short serve gets in the way of the hitters. Tip number 4, serving the ball down the line near zone 1. Anytime you can serve the ball down the line near zone 1, you're going to make it more difficult for the setter to get to the ball and set it. This is because the setter would prefer to be facing the outside hitter when they set. So a ball that comes from zone 1, they're going to have to turn as they set to face the outside. So when the ball comes from zone 5, it's not as difficult because the setter is already facing the ball when they're setting. Okay, tip number 5, serve the ball low, hard, and deep. Anytime you can get the serve to land near the end line, you're going to make it really difficult for the passer to pass the ball to the net so the setter can set at the net. Especially at the younger age groups, it's more difficult to pass the really deep serve because the forearm passing platform has to be much higher. So the deep serve makes it more difficult to pass the ball with the forearms. And when taking the deep serve with the hands, it's difficult to push the ball up to the net with hands. And if you keep the serve low, meaning the flight of the ball is low, then a lot of times players will end up playing a ball that's going to end up landing out of bounds, and they end up playing it because it's a low serve. Whereas when serving the ball high, they're more likely to let that ball drop. So basically, if you serve the ball high and deep, be sure to keep it in the court. And if you can keep the serve low and it's going to go deep, there's a good chance they're going to play the ball even though it might barely land out of bounds. Okay, tip number 6, serve the player that just came in the game. So a lot of times a team will get stuck in serve receive. Maybe a player is struggling passing, so they decide to sub that player out. So in this situation, you have a new player coming in the game that hasn't been playing. So it's a good idea to serve this player because they likely aren't that focused and ready to play. And they likely aren't that good a passer because if they were, they would have already been in the game passing. Okay, tip number 7. Serve the ball to zone 2. If the ball is passed from zone 2, this is going to make it more difficult for the setter to turn and face the outside hitter when they set, especially if the team is trying to run a slide. It's usually easier to run a slide when the pass is coming from zone 5 or zone 6. So for a ball that's coming from zone 1 or zone 2, it's going to be much more difficult for the setter to run the slide. Now, if you haven't seen the video where I explain the different types of serves, be sure to check it out. The link to watch it is in the description below and also in the cards in this video. If you've been struggling to serve and have a question related to serving, please comment below with a follow-up question. If you like this video, please let me know by liking it below. Subscribe and share it with your volleyball friends. And comment below with the word helpful if you found this video has helped.